Back now with Maynard Ferguson, who, as I say, does not make many television appearances. Why do you do this so seldom, television?
I think it's mostly because I'm so involved with the band running around this country and other countries doing concerts, and we do so many of them in the schools, mostly because I'm very interested in music education, and I do a certain amount of teaching whenever possible during our touring, as do many of the guys in the band. They're all very brilliant young musicians.
And they're all very young musicians.
Yes, they certainly
are. I noticed that they seem to be not quite as gray of hair as the leader.
No, I think the older I get, though, the younger they start to look to me.
Okay, but I would guess that you make a concerted effort to find young people to bring into your organization, if that's what you call it. Why?
It isn't a concerted effort. It's just that with what's happening in the level of music education in the schools today, in the last 10 years, we'll say, they come up with their games so well put together, as opposed to before, where maybe he'd be a great soloist, but really couldn't read music too well, or didn't have any classical training to go with his with his jazz, or his fusion thing, or his rock, or whatever he's into. But here they get such a wide education in music that they're ready at a much younger age.
If there is a word that runs through your career that describes what you do, I think the word would be contemporary. You are always contemporary, or sometimes a little bit ahead of what is contemporary. Do these young people help to keep you that way?
I would think so, yes, very much. What's that old Tibetan translation which has to do with the older must always also remember to learn from the young, so they influence me quite a bit.
Do you ever find yourself in conflict with their thinking or their ideas?
Oh, sure.
You know where to say, hey,
sure, I think that's part of being creative, is that and the final thing, you have to be the leader, and you say
the commandant.
Yes and no, and you try to say it with love, and because what doesn't work because you're the leader might work if one of those guys was the leader, and I'm sure there'll be some leaders come out of this band.
Of course, but in the meantime, as you say, you take a vote amongst the band, and then we do it Maynard Ferguson's way.
I
right?
think so, yeah.
Now, you had a big night at the Berklee School of Music last night in Boston, I understand.
That's right. It was very exciting.